Hello, welcome back to my channel. Now, I haven't posted this style of video in a minute, but I can't not just let the situation fly under the radar. In today's video, I am going to be talking about K-Soul and why people hate him because trust me, everything he has done is a valid reason to dislike this man. Before I start, I am going to be making it apparent that I will be talking about racism, fatphobia, pressuring a minor, and abuse in this video, because even if he has only been in the industry for half a year, he has managed to be a disrespectful person to nearly everyone he has encountered while being an idol. If you cannot handle hearing those topics, I will summarize the video in a comment so that you can get a gist of what has happened without putting yourself in harm's way. Your safety is far more important than anything else, so please be vigilant. Next, K-Soul, Fatphobic Studios, or anyone associated with the two, please do not sue me or take down this video. I am simply using facts to educate people on a problematic person, so that they don't get harmed by said person. I am not attempting to strike down Fantasy Boys or K-Soul, nor do I have any malicious intent with this video. Also, I want to put right here that I have not watched My Teenage Boy whatsoever, so if there are accounts of what happened in the show, I cannot confirm that it was actually what happened. I apologize for this, however I trust that the sources I am using fact-check beforehand. Lastly, I will leave all my sources in the description so you can read up on this yourselves. With that out of the way, let's get started. Before we get into what this dude has done, let's go over who he is, and why he has fame in the first place. K-Soul is a member of the 11-member K-pop group called Fantasy Boys, who were formed under Fatphobic Studios. The group consists of Minseo, K-Soul, Hanbin, Hikari, Linkai, Hikaru, Wooseok, Sunmin, Hyungi, Jairi, and Keaton, with former member Junwon having left the group before debut. The group was formed on the survival show My Teenage Boy / Fantasy Boy, that was held by their company to see who would be a member in the group. They then made their official debut on September 11, 2023, with the mini-album New Tomorrow. In the 6 months since their debut, the boys have gained a lot of negative attention towards them thanks to K-Soul, so I wanted to say something right now. Do not go dragging the other members because of what K-Soul has said and done. They are not responsible for what this grown-ass man has done, so the only person who should be receiving criticism is K-Soul himself. With that out of the way, let's get into why people hate him, because some of the things are just really stupid and childish. The first issue people have with K-Soul is that he made fatphobic comments to 2 of his fellow bandmates when they were still on the survival show. In June of last year, MBC had released footage of K-Soul, Wooseok, and Hikari hanging out during their downtime with another contestant. While they were talking, Wooseok mentioned that the day prior, K-Soul had called him a harsh name. He said that while they had been filming, K-Soul grabbed his chin and called him Wooseok with a fat chin. After this was brought up, K-Soul doubled down on his words stating, "You're already handsome. To look more handsome, you should lose some chin fat." Let me just stop this dude right here and say that handsomeness doesn't solely rely on being skinny with defined features. Conventional handsomeness, which is what K-Soul has, relies on that, but not preference handsomeness. I, personally, think that Wooseok is really attractive, even if he has a larger chin than K-Soul has. Now that I think about it, Wooseok looks really similar to Kino from Pentagon the more I look at him. The wider, more expressive eyes, his plump lips, his diamond-shaped face. They're super similar and, unsurprisingly, they're both really attractive. But I digress because K-Soul just couldn't leave well enough alone, and had to be fatphobic yet again. Some of the other contestants had asked K-Soul to comment on Hikari for whatever reason, and instead of being positive and nice, he chose to call the boy pig baby. Pig is often used as a derogatory term towards plus-sized individuals, because pigs are usually fat. That just begs the question, what in the world was he thinking when he said that? And I don't want to hear anything about him not knowing what he was saying, because that is such a cop-out, that I see people use a lot when it's foreign idols saying something disrespectful. The people around him and Hikari, himself, reportedly looked sad and disheartened at the comment. So if he truly didn't know what it meant, this should have gotten him to understand the issue and fix his statement, which he didn't. He made no attempt to right this wrong as far as I can tell, leading me to believe that he wholeheartedly meant what he had said. The second issue people have with him is not that much of a big deal compared to everything else, but I still thought I should mention it. So one thing you should know about K-Soul is that he was a part of a Chinese group called New Jai Xiaoyan, Wooden Boy in English from what I could find, back in 2018. While in this band, it was reported that his birthday was October 19, 1998, which would make him 25 right now if this is true. During his time on other survival shows, it was reported that his birthday was the same day, but in 1997, which would make him 26 right now. That's not all, though, since he claimed his birthday is in 2000, now that he is in Fantasy Boys, which would make him 23 right now, since his birthday hasn't passed yet. People found this to be completely unnecessary, which is why I want to play devil's advocate for a second. Depending on the survival show and program, there may be an age requirement you have to meet in order to be a contestant. If this was the case for the survival shows he was on, he might have made himself appear older, so that he could join the show. Similarly, he might have had to be older to participate in Mu Jai Xiaoyan, which is why he stated he was born in 1997 or 1998, respectively. The only part I agree that might be unnecessary is if he aged himself down. While I can understand not wanting to have a huge age gap between your members, that doesn't give you a valid reason to scuff your age a little bit. The third problem is his culture appropriation by means of wearing box braids. I want to preface this by saying I am not black, so I will not be giving my opinions about this. Anyone else who isn't black, please don't overshadow the affected party's opinions and feelings. Getting on with it, K-Soul did a photo shoot before he was on My Teenage Boy, where he was adorning the hairstyle which many were quick to call out. A little while later, he was spotted at the airport still wearing the box braids with no attempt to hide it, either. There has never been a statement about this incident nor with everything else, and I doubt he will address it anytime soon. The fourth issue people have taken to this dude as how rude, self-centered, and jealous he came across during his time in the show. During the very first episode of the show, there was this moment when Hikari, I think, called a contestant, Sundman, hot, and K-Soul's first instinct was to side-eye the boy and pull out his mirror. He then stated that he wanted to look at how pretty he was since not getting validation from someone seemed to rub him the wrong way. Other instances include in episode 3 when he appeared annoyed and began to make every other contestant uncomfortable, like with his fatphobic comments. When the contestants had to choose teams based on outfits, no one chose the Asian look after he had put his badge on it, meaning no one wanted to be in a team with him, which is so funny to me. This is totally understandable considering how he behaves towards mentors and fellow trainees by looking down on them. When he gets genuine helpful criticism from the judges, he doesn't take those criticisms to improve on his skills, and instead behaves disrespectfully toward the people who are trying to help him. For example, he talked back to Soyeon when she was giving him tips on improving his skills. While I have my own issues with Soyeon, I don't think she deserves to get disrespected after she politely dishes out constructive critiques that are meant to be jumping off points for those who are just joining the industry. Standards in Korea and China for singing, dancing, rapping, etc. are vastly different, so her advice is very helpful for someone who could potentially debut in a Korean group. During an interim report, the teams were deciding which member fit which part of the song, and K-Soul really wanted the rap part, even though he isn't and has never been a rapper. When he was given the rapper position, he substituted a large part of the rap with Nanana, resulting in the part getting passed along to someone who is actually trained in rap. It was here that he appeared jealous and got upset that he was no longer getting to rap, and claimed he was being discriminated against. I have no idea if he knows what the word discriminating means or what, but the rap being given to a rapper instead of you, someone who does vocals and not rap, is not them discriminating against you. Sometimes I swear he is purposely making himself look clueless and dumb, but this is a whole new level. There is so much information and evidence in this thread by Real Fantasy Boys on Twitter, so I will link it down below if you want to look at everything they provided, because I simply cannot cover it all in this video. Please look at the thread because the user bent over backwards to provide proof that he is a disrespectful person. The fifth issue is what got people's attention, which is him snitching on a different idol for being intimate with their girlfriend at a club. K-Soul went live about a week ago, and stated that while he was out, he had seen an idol who was out at a club with their girlfriend start grabbing her ass, which is completely normal for couples to do, by the way. He then went on to state that the idol was known for being in this relationship, and said that it was unfair that he gets the attention that he gets, despite not practicing when he should have. In full he said, but he was able to win on a music show. I searched a hashtag and saw a comment that said, he has a girlfriend, but I still really like him. What should I do? I was like, fine. This is very unfair to the guys who work hard in the practice room, just for that one chance to get noticed by everyone. I couldn't find a source stating this, but many people claimed he told on the idol for doing this, which is ironic, considering he also wasn't practicing when he should have. That actually brings me to a caveat where I am going to assume that this idol was out when he was allowed to be out. Unless you go down the 82 major route, which is a joke, most idols do what they're told by their management, including rookie idols who just debuted. It makes absolutely no sense to me that this idol would purposely go out during allocated practice time when he hasn't even cemented himself in the industry. All of this led people to believe that this unknown idol was Waring from Tempest, who was under fire for going out to a club and hanging out with a girl suspected to be his girlfriend. Although this has not been confirmed by either Waring or K-Soul, I felt like adding this since it is relevant to the conversation. The second to last issue is when he was trying to pressure a minor into doing a sexy concept during My Teenage Boy. During one of the episodes, Keaton and K-Soul were on a team that was going to be covering Coco Bop by EXO. In Korean age, Keaton is a 16-year-old, but is 14 internationally, so he didn't want to do the sexy concept. He said that, the sexy theme doesn't fit me because I'm still 15 years old when he was doing the interview portion that is between clips of the contestants practicing and performing. When he brought it up to K-Soul by saying that he doesn't think he can do the sexy concept, K-Soul said that he had his own sexiness, implying that Keaton can still participate. If someone sets a boundary like that, you don't have the rite of passage to try and persuade them into doing that thing. Keaton is in 8th grade internationally, so obviously he wouldn't feel comfortable doing a concept that requires everyone to be sexy. K-Soul is 9 or so years older than Keaton, yet is trying to get him to agree to do a sexy concept. This proves to me that he doesn't care about other people nor their feelings, and thinks what he says goes. Being a 20-year-old and pressuring someone in their early teenage years is just weird and needs to be talked about more. Branching off for a couple seconds, this goes back to what I said in my new jeans video from about a year ago. Companies need to stop debuting people who are so young because it opens the door to people acting weird towards them. There are sectors of K-pop fans who are above the legal age and biased minors because they are attracted to these younger people. I am currently 15 years old, but I could never imagine having to debut in a group and juggle school all at the same time. Hell, I can barely manage to do school even as a full-time student. I really hope this doesn't become a trend with 5th-gen groups, even though it kind of already has. Let kids be kids, please. Is it really that hard to debut adults instead of minors? The last reason people are upset with K-Soul is because you liken K-pop fans to domestic abuse victims. No, I am not joking. This man likened the people giving him money and keeping him afloat to victims of abuse. In the same live where he talked about the idol being out with his girlfriend, he just went on and on about it, and the people who support this idol for having a girlfriend. When the clip of him talking about that went viral, netizens started posting the part where he said that K-pop fans should be prepared to get abused when they get married, all because he doesn't understand why people support this idol. He said, "I don't understand it. Get ready to get cheated on while you're in a relationship and get abused while you're in a marriage, then. I really don't understand it." Now, I don't think I have to say this, but what the fuck is wrong with you to where you take a real-world issue and weaponize it when you are jealous about someone else? What the hell goes through your head to be so self-centered that instead of sympathizing with abuse victims, you drag them into an issue within yourself? People who get abused by their partners are often not met with justice because of the legal system, and how hard it is to leave relationships like that. Obviously, it appears that K-Soul doesn't understand the gravity surrounding domestic violence, because if he did, he would have never been this evil and cruel to use them to be petty. I genuinely have no idea why he is allowed to have a platform when he acts this childish and petty and self-centered, but then claims he wants to be a role model for people. What a fucking weirdo. I really have no idea what I can say after everything said in this video. K-Soul is a great example of giving the wrong people a platform because of his undoubtedly egocentric behavior. Fantasy boys are only getting dragged down by him and all of his antics, so I hope that he works out his issues before he continues making his situation worse. Now, do not disrespect him by talking about his father or his grandmother, please. There is nothing productive from using his family's trauma against him that makes you no better than him. His family are not the ones at fault and don't deserve to get dragged into this mess, so please refrain from doing that. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great day and I'll see you later.